Just pulled my shoulder, dropping that seat. I lay this towel down mainly to help prevent like oil and dirt getting on the back of the seat. I mean, you can see there are like oil and dirt marks on it, so I like to think it does something for me. Alright, so today we're gonna try and ride Cedar Valley. Weather's reasonable, it's like 50 out. It was like 20 degrees this morning. But we're gonna see if we can't get a ride in. Hopefully Nervous Breakdown's open so I can show you guys that jump line. It's probably one of the more advanced jump lines in Charlotte. So hopefully it's open. We haven't had rain in a handful of days since probably Thanksgiving morning, which was exactly a week ago. So hopefully everything's running decent. We're gonna get a quick ride in and do a review of Cedar Valley. Gotta load up the rig. I am gonna tighten the 6-bolt again just to be safe. Not trying to have any funny business again. This doesn't fit. I think it was one of these, wasn't it? This one. That should be good. Although I said that last time. We were not good. Can't win them all. Brake does work. It's actually pretty warm in the sun. It's surprising. Is that everything? Should be everything. So like I said before, we're making a trip down to Cedar Valley. I'm gonna see if we can't get a ride in today. Quick review, like 50 some and change right now. Slight wind, nothing we can't handle though. And yeah, gonna see if we can't get a nice ride in. I think there are 2 trails that I have not been down yet. And they're the ones that are near the entry point to Cedar Valley. But I'll try and get those in there too. So when I first originally went there like a year ago, and I ended up going throughout Fisher Farm, which is across the dirt road. And I did not find the jumps. And after riding for like an hour, maybe more than that, I didn't realize that where I needed to be was Cedar Valley on the other side of the road. I'll show you guys the entrance to those trails so you don't get confused. You park really in the same spot for both, but I just didn't know the difference between the two. So I ended up hitting Fisher first, but I'll show you guys the difference. So Cedar's about 30 minutes for me, depending on traffic. Right now it's like 2:30, 2:40. So it's not horrible. Guy behind me just fully turned left on red. But yeah, like 30 minutes for me. It's further north near Lake Norman. It's in Davidson. Shout out Steph Curry. The trails are great. It's a little bit further than Airline, and Airline has great jumps. So I just tend to go to Airline more than Cedar. And Cedar, I find there's a little bit more pedaling involved. So you will probably break more of a sweat at Cedar than places like Airline or Rocky Branch, especially if you're just going to hit the jumps. Block 5-0. See if he wants to run a bit. It's low-key the same car. Oh, he's running. A little too much for me, my boy. I'm not cutting up traffic. Shout out Steelers, big W last week. Already know what it is though. Sussy Russie's putting it out this year. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna holler at you guys in a few. Well, that sucked. I thought it was gonna be cheap up here. It wasn't even close. It's almost like a whole $1 more. Good Lord. It's 2:53. Should have 2 hours of daylight. Tales of the road, my friends. Tales of the road. You ever pass a cop and have no idea what the speed limit is? Alright, so we're gonna get a little... Oh, not the sun again. I have my sunglasses on this time, so I'm not getting scammed. I'm gonna holler at you in a few minutes. We're gonna be on these backcountry roads for a bit. And, I'm gonna holler at you at the trail, you Herbie. You. Alright, we've arrived. You may not even hear me because of the wind. It's super windy out. At least out here. So this is what we're looking for, this area here. Cedar Valley is on this side. You want to go down this rocky road. Fisher is across the street to the left. Just remember that when you come to ride, which place you want to ride. You've seen them before. I bring these babies to Rock Creek. Come on. You see how chewed up they get? These things do the trick just fine. The only thing these don't do is protect your feet or your toes if you like go into a rock or something. But I'm not planning on doing that. No. Should probably pump this up, but I'm not. Alright. So let me show you Fisher quick. Because there's not really a sign at the entrance to Cedar here, so that's why I got confused. But you want to come down here, trying to close my pockets. So this is Fisher side. Some pretty wild rock stuff in here. Cannot close my pocket. There we go. Alright, that'll be another video. Hopefully you guys can even hear me. It's crazy windy. Whew. Here's the step up. Man. Hard to keep the front end down on that thing. Should really be throwing tire grabs. So this is the first thing you'll see in here is a step up. They built it up a little bit for Fisher Fest. Woo! It's nice. I want to try and air it a little bit. So one thing I always struggled with hitting like trail jumps, I'm used to jumping everything so low from racing BMX. It's like an innate habit I have is speed jumping things. So height is usually hard for me. Yeah. Alright. A little warmed up. So let's take a quick run through these top two trails. Are these technically a part of Cedar? Twisted Sisters. Oh, that's the one it is. Twisted Sisters up here. So there's the main entrance to Cedar Valley. Twisted Sisters over here. We can get a quick run at Twisted Sister. I don't know that I've ever done this. I usually just go right into Cedar. But let's see. Little uphill action. Uphill parts. So that is the one thing about Cedar, is that a lot of these trails come back up. Like I've been going uphill now for quite a bit, which is not particularly what I like. Yeah, like I had to just stop there. So uphill roots. That's the kind of riding you like. You'll love this trail. But yeah, most of the trails I ride end before the upward part. I found that a lot of these, part of the trail is coming back upwards where you started. So if you like some uphill ride, this is good. Whoa! Oh, I didn't see that. So there's a split here. Looks like they may go the same way. Maybe. Let's go left. Oh shoot. There's a drop here. Should we send it? It's pretty flat. It is pretty flat. Screw it. I will tell you what, riding uphill climb trails in the cold also isn't very ideal. I'm gonna squishing this up. Should probably get a lot more speed than this. Whoa! Yep. Woo! Ooh. All right. So, don't really know where I'm going anymore. This could be bad. I may have to go the other way because I don't know where I am. On this episode of Lost. Alright, so I don't want to go too far in either of those directions. Didn't see a trail path. So I'm just going to come back up this like 4x4 road. I think this is a road. I did warn you, I haven't been down here before on that trail. So you're getting lost with me, I guess. I was expecting it to end where that step-up was that we first were jumping, because we were going back uphill, but it did not bode to be true. So we'll see what we can do up here. I'll let you know when I found my way. Alright, I think I found the main entrance. Yeah. Alright. So if you go uphill a little bit, where I came in on just now, it will bring you to that step up. Alright. We're back. Alright, so that one trail already got me geeked, especially with it being pretty cold. The breathing is tougher, so I'm already pretty tanked. So that does it for Twisted Sister. Nice little cross-country trail with some uphill in there too. Pretty rooty. And that big drop at the bottom is nice. Just careful because it's kind of flat. Alright. So we're gonna run right into this. see what we can do. You heard me? Oh wow. They built those up a lot. Oh, I forgot I loosened up my suspension. I'm bouncing around. A little bit of uphill to get to where you want to be. You'll definitely get your cardio in here, for sure. Here's the moment of truth. Is break down open. It is. Well, there you have it. The infamous nervous breakdown. Woo. So we're at Nervous Breakdown. Gonna give you guys a little trail tour before we get gapping. So, little wooden platform to come in. Got a roller here. A little trail maintenance. A little double here. It is definitely a gap. So that's the thing about these jumps. You do have to hit them because they are definitely gaps. Got a little hip action. Pretty close to a shark fin almost. There's a side hit here. I don't know if that's running down there. They might be building it up. See a nice little hip. Coming down, there's the landing. Little sideways. It's gonna bring you down into this kind of left lip to a right landing. Little interesting. You can hit it pretty straight. I usually try and jump off to angle myself a little right so I can come down the top side and then come down right, and then it's going to set you up for probably the longest gap in Charlotte. I don't know what else would be bigger. Try and get the whole thing. So it definitely looks smaller on camera, as you can imagine. I mean, there's at least two of me standing straight, or like laying down, nose to tail here. Got that stump gap, but yeah, this one's pretty massive. The thing about this jump line is you carry crazy amounts of speed. So, as big as it looks, I mean, it's super flowy. I actually usually brake quite a bit, but, and then into this like dragon's back. It's kind of a on-off jump. Looks like it, the first lander kind of subsided a little bit, but little on-off. See what I mean about these. Whoa, how much just went down. Low-key broke my back. So you can't really roll that very well. So definitely want to be prepared to gap these. And then coming down, little left action gap. So this one you can hit pretty straight actually. It looks like it's going to come off left, but very minimal. And this one is also a decent gap. So keep that in mind. I mean, it's probably pretty similar actually to the stump jump. And as far as distance goes, and then you come into this pretty low berm into like a shark fin hip, which is a very tight turn. So the thing about this is you come into it very quick and the landing is pretty flat, and it's also a decent size, but you can't really grease this berm here because of how low it is. So there was a time where I slid out trying to carve it, slid out and like tumbled over the top of this here. But I don't even know if I've fully gapped this just because of that turn. I may try and do it and just come in a little bit inside here just to show you. And then after that, got like a fishbowl berm here. It's pretty chewed up from the winter weather here. And then you got this gap, well, not a gap, a drop. So this drop, it's very mellow, but it feels quite flat on the land. So you want to be careful. I've definitely done it a few times where my ankles have compressed quite a bit. It's pretty similar to Airline's bottom drop, only except for the landing isn't as steep. I'd say the distance and height is pretty similar. So if you've done that, this is really no problem. And then I'll walk over to this last jump. It's a trail that comes through here, which hopefully we'll see in a minute. And then it's like a step table. Not really even a step because the height is relatively the same. But this one's mellow. Doesn't really boot you too high. It is quite long, but the landing is mellow, so nothing really to worry about there. But yeah, I'm gonna go run back up to the top and we'll see if we can't get a decent line in. Hopefully my ankles don't buckle on that drop. We should be good. Well, my bike is still here, so that's a plus. Might as well check the rotor while we're here. Seems decent. Alright. So we're gonna see if we can't get a run through. I'm going to stiffen up my settings here. Probably not ideal for that drop, but I'd rather be set up for these jumps. Done the drop stiff before.
What do you mean by that?
So, looks like everything's running pretty tough. So we shouldn't have a speed problem. Or I might be in the wrong gear here. No, maybe not. Alright. Dropping in. That didn't sound good. They landed about there. Ah! It's so funny. That's exactly what I told you guys would happen too. Ooh! Got my shin decent. So first thing we want to do here is make sure I'm alive. My bike didn't sound, where should we go? Let's go over here. I'm sure you heard that crack. I don't think it was my leg. It sounded pretty rear. I just about 75'd it. I mean, it could have been my seat clanking against the top. The rear feels fine. I went up a gear, that's fine. I'm really looking for like cracks or something. Rim looks alright. Huh, could have been the drivetrain. Or it could have just been the gear shifting. It's so funny. Throw back to when I said verbatim what usually happens on that. So the problem here is I tried carving again as well. I think this is probably my line. This here, I don't know if you can see that. Let me take this thing off. Alright. So just so you guys don't do the same thing I just did, which I tried to avoid. So I believe these are my front tires, this track here. I should have been a little bit wider. I mean, I'm just assuming those are my tracks. No, I think, I don't know, whatever. That's beside the point. So what you can find is my rear wheel here. You can kind of see it's like brushed a little bit as I'm trying to carve to, because this is uphill. It's not just like a normal double. You kind of have to pull up pretty severe. So I'm trying to carve enough to give myself a little boost upwards. And as I'm doing that, I slid, my back tire slid out, like all the way up this lip. And because of that, my front tire started to come a little bit inward. And I'm like dead crooked in the air coming up this. And because it's uphill, I can't bail and throw my bike out. Normally, if I know I'm not going to be able to hit the landing, I bail and throw my bike out from under me and just land on my feet. But because this is coming uphill, I can't really do that. So I like half bailed, tried to land on my feet, but my whole bike was under my right foot, so I had to like tumble out and landed like right on this, of course. And I don't even know what that is, but so yeah, just be careful on this. Ideally that berm gets raised a little bit so you can really carve into it, because carving into something flat with that much speed is pretty difficult, especially because these rear wheels that I got from that dude are not knobby. They're speed tires. So like these front ones grab fine, the Michelin's, but these Maxxis rear wheels are meant for speed, so that also doesn't help, which is no fault of the trail. But just be careful on that and try to avoid doing what I just did, and you'll go home without a bruise. So I'm going to show you this here just to finish this nervous breakdown up. I'm going to stiffen or loosen up my settings here for this so I don't explode. Alright, baby. Gonna hit this thing and then we'll go over to Black Sabbath and the other trailer too that's above us here. So oh yeah, buddy. Oh, woo-wee. Holy cannoli. tires are not pumped up enough for that drop, that's for sure. I landed so flat. I just nut tapped myself in my seat landing on that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna walk through the woods up here, avoid oncoming trail, and I'm gonna meet you guys at the right side of Nervous Breakdown where the rest of the trail is going. So I'm gonna holler at you in a few. Alright, so we're back up next to Nervous Breakdown here, and we're gonna do the rest of the trails. I'm gonna try and keep some speed here because some of it gets uphill, but nothing you can do. Yeah, so my tires are not pumped for this. Seat's coming up, and we're sitting down. Ew. Someone needs to start a hashtag bring back the Manny. Manualing is just so much fun. Got to get more mountain bikers to manual. All right. Pardon my drivetrain. It's a little creaky, but we are now in the woods pretty deep. So we've got Roaster Coaster here. Let me see. I know Black Sabbath is down here. Is there another trailhead up here too? Let's find out. No, it's just Black Sabbath. And a nice Master Forge. Alright. So, there's Black Sabbath. We're gonna do Roaster Coaster first. And see if we can't get some action. A little worried about my tires losing air here because it's going to limit a lot of my riding, but let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what? I got to stiffen this up again. All right, now let's see what we got. Little pedaling in here. I almost just roosted over that berm. Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep. Yep. So there's a nice drop there. Don't have the speed. Yep. Oh. Not enough mustard there.
Ooh. Yep. Ooh. Oh. Frig. Seat's coming up. Ah. We're going down. You. Disregard me 50-50ing most of those. It's not entirely my fault. It's a little soft. My tires are soft. And I'm geeked. So, hoo-wee. Oh, just missed that jump. So it's hard to tell in these videos, but I mean, there's a good amount of pedaling involved, especially at the end here. I mean, you can't coast any of this, but we are on bikes, right? We're meant to be pedaling. But I understand a lot of people don't like to pedal if they don't have to. I'm one of them. So it is a fun trail though. You just got to stay on your toes, especially this time of the year, to clear everything pretty solid. I'm literally wheezed from Toy Story right now. I'm so geeked up.
The dust aggravates my condition.
I don't remember the exit being this long. You got to be pretty close. Ooh-wee. All right. So you also want to be a little careful this time of the year with all the leaves, because they're very deceiving and can be very slippery. So you want to be careful carving pretty low. That first berm, my back tire almost shrouded clean over the top of it, probably mainly from leaves. I'll have to look back at it. All right. Yoo-wee. So that's Rooster Coaster. All right. So after a little breather, double black Sabbath. This is a pretty fun one. There's a double black. Nothing too severe, if I remember correctly. We're basically just gonna rip it and grip it. You heard me? It's getting a proper gear to get grafting here. Ah. This feels adequate. Oh, I got a leaf in my crank. Yep. Oh yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Hello. Yep. Woo! I hope you guys heard my drivetrain give out 3 gears mid-crank right before that lip. I don't know how I managed to stay on the bike. Yow! It's the price you gotta pay for greasing it. So this part is a little bit slow. I usually just ride down it. if you're into CrossFit or triathlons, I'm sure you could rip through this, but I am not him, so I'm just taking it nice and easy here. But yeah, like this is uphill, so let me know. Ooh-wee. I probably sound like a nut job humming and hawing so much, but it's because I'm boosting everything with my tires low, and the trails are running all right, but off season everything's pretty soft no matter what, but it's rideable. It's just a little soft, so you're gonna have to boost a little bit, and I'd rather save my rear wheel as best I can and my dignity. So, all right, so we got to the top of that little uphill portion, so we're going to drop into a nice little right hand hip here, and then there's a few jumps at the bottom, and then we're going to finish right underneath that big drop on Nervous Breakdown. So yeah, we're gonna see if we can't get a little bit shifty here. You know how we do it. Come on, baby. Yep. Yep. Ah. Ooh. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I'm not gapping that. All right. That just about rounds it up. Like I said, this one goes under that drop. And as you can see, it's a pretty decent hit, but very similar to Airline. A little bit longer than Airline's, but the height is very close. I don't know if you can see, but I'm a good couple feet away still. But yeah, that'll just about wrap up all the trails. The rest of this is just me riding up to the top. It's not a flow trail or anything, just the exit. So I'm gonna ride up this, and that's just about it. Oh, it looks like they cleared out a lot up here. Oh, okay. So they just cleaned up all this shrubbery. Looks like a lot of logs. Wonder if they're gonna do something with the trail, but you can see they built up that berm and those two entry jumps. They're running pretty good. But yeah, this is just the exit. I saw a massive black snake crossing here before. Forget what it was called. I looked it up. I don't think they're venomous, but like a black king snake or something. I don't know. It's pretty long though. All right. This part will start to look a little familiar as we get up to the top. Now we're back at the Twisted Sister Trail and the Cedar Valley actual entrance to the trails. Right there. Alright guys, so that'll wrap up the riding portion of today's vlog number 9. Make sure you guys tune in to all of them. And see you back at the car. You heard me?
Bruh.
You didn't have to cut me off.
Nothing like a nice cool beer with water. Alright, so that just about wraps it up for the Cedar vlog. Packing up now. So it's definitely pretty cold today. Very windy, as I'm sure you can hear. But can't really beat a sunset ride no matter what the conditions are. Bike held up pretty decent considering I crashed crazy, which you'll see in the video, unfortunately. I wonder if you can hear that, like, crack in the video as much as I heard it in person. I'm really just hoping it was my drivetrain shifting or something. I don't know, it sounded pretty heavy, but the bike seems alright. Rotor's still on. Hopefully it wasn't anything framed. Yeah. Hold up pretty decent considering what happened. Alright guys, we're heading out. Nippy out today.
Open sesame.
Feel like LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Alright, that about does it, folks. So that's Cedar Valley. Little sunset vlog. There was just a dog running around here. Seemingly out of nowhere, so I'm gonna try and be careful here. I didn't see anybody near it, or anybody at all for that matter.
Where are you?
But yeah, I find it so funny that not only did I explain exactly what usually happens on that shark fin left at the bottom of Nervous Breakdown, but I did exactly what I said to avoid doing. You gotta pay to play though, to be honest with you. But I guess I did a little both today. So yeah, that's Cedar, a lot of fun. There's some decent variety in there. Like I said, you know, Nervous Breakdown.
Turn right onto Shore Road.
But yeah, like I said, Nervous Breakdown is a pretty fun jump line. I will say, of all the jumps that I've been to in Charlotte, well, I mean, this is kind of outside of Charlotte in Davidson.
Miles, turn left onto East.
So it's a little outside of Charlotte. I mean, I live in the northeastern part of Charlotte, and it's still like 35 minutes for me. Could probably do it in a little less than that, depending on traffic, but I mean, it is technically Davidson. But yeah, I mean, there's some decent variety. The one thing about Cedar, especially Fisher, which I'll try and get to at some point, it's not really, Fisher doesn't have a lot of the stuff I like to ride. It's more just like cross-country trails with a lot of big rocks. But the one thing about Cedar, the trails in Cedar, a lot of them do require pedaling. There is uphill sections in just about all of them. I mean, it would be very difficult to flow through the entirety of all of the trails without having to pedal. I mean, maybe somebody's done
At the
it.
next stop sign,
I don't think it's
left.
possible, but that is the one thing about it. I mean, if you don't mind pedaling and getting some extra cardio work in, you'll probably love those trails. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun overall. Nervous Breakdown's a lot of fun. There are a couple jumps on that line that are pretty big, and they are gaps, so you do have to jump them. It's not like airline.
At the stop sign, turn left onto East Rocky River Road.
But yeah, a lot of the jumps in Nervous Breakdown, I mean, you can't roll.
In 1.3 miles, turn right onto Sudbury.
But yeah, I mean, you definitely take your time on those. Maybe watch a couple people go through them first, if you're new to jumps like that. Because you don't want to be coming up short and hitting that stump on that middle gap. But they are a lot of fun. They're very fast. Like I said in the video, I often find myself brake checking before quite a few of them. But yeah, of course, I blew up on that shark fin left before the big fishbowl berm. I will say one thing that's important to know how to do when biking, especially hitting jumps, well, only really hitting jumps, is knowing how to bail properly and when to bail properly. Because when you're hitting big jumps, especially for the first time, and I see people make this mistake all the time when they're hitting jumps, like, if you know you're gonna come up short, I mean, if you can get away with hacking your back tire on the top of the landing and ride out, that's fine. But if you know that your front tire's gonna be coming up close to not making it even, like, you wanna bail. I know people probably think that's weird or like sketchy, or why would you ever bail off your
At
bike
the next
midair?
stop sign, turn right.
This is ridiculous. I had to turn the GPS off. That was crazy. But what was I saying? But yeah, if you know that your front tire's not going to make it over the landing, like, you want to be able to bail properly. Because the last thing you want to do is compress into the backside of a landing on your front tire, bucking your wrists off the handlebars. That's how people break their wrists, and then they go right to the backside of the landing. Then, not only that, their chest goes right into their bars, assuming they're not wearing a chest protector. And then it's just an explosion. Your feet fall off your pedals cut up your shins. But when you bail properly and throw the bike out from under you, you don't want to throw it directly out in front of you. You want to throw it to the side or way below or behind. Ideally, you want to you want your feet to be able to get up and over the bars, or you throw your bike totally to the side. Because instead of your front tire being the first point of contact into a backside of a landing like this, if you can get the bike out from under you and just land on your feet and compress with your legs, I mean, unless you're talking like a 50-foot gap, I mean, you're going to avoid crazy injury. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to come up 50-50 or on your back tire just a little bit, there's no reason to bail. But if you're coming up crazy short, being able to bail properly can avoid a lot of injury. I see that people make that mistake a lot when they jump for the first time, and I mean, you see it all over the internet. People crashing, coming up crazy short, staying on the bike when they, like, you know they're gonna eat it. I mean, you'll even see pros bail over the landing too, and they come on they land on their feet on the actual landing part itself, not the backside of it. I mean, you definitely want to know how to do it properly. Unfortunately, though, it's like a lot of things where you can't really learn how to do it without, like, just having it come up naturally and trying it for the first time organically. It's not really something you can practice very well. I mean, growing up riding and racing bikes and hitting jumps my whole life, practically, it's just something I've had to learn to do. But it definitely helps. That's my rant for the day. Oh my God, what is this traffic? There's crazy traffic right now. That's insane. But yeah, that's a ride, that's a vlog, that's a clip. Let me know what you think of Cedar Valley. Check it out. Definitely some nice trails in there. You'll get your cardio in for sure, which is not a problem. Everybody needs that cardio. Let me know what you think. Next vlog, I'd like to go back to Francis Beatty at some point and see what those jumps are cooking like. But who knows? Let me know where you want to see me ride, what kind of videos you want me to see. If you like the vlog style videos, if you don't, cook me up in the chat. You already know what's up with it, but alright. You want to know the life hack of the century? Let me know, bro. Pack of gum. That's already done. Take your gum. Take a piece of gum. Rip it in half. Put one half back in. Chew the other half. You'll have twice the amount of action. Who needs a full stick of gum anyways? Come on. You'll all thank me later for that one. So fire, bro. But yeah, that'll just about do it. Don't forget to subscribe, like it up, comment it up, share it up, sub it up. And I'll see you in the next video. You heard me?